Welcome back to Scrapbooking 101 with Art and Creative Studio. In this video, we're sharing some tips and ideas for choosing photos to go on your scrapbook layout. So let's have a look. Your photos help to tell the story that you want to share in your layouts, but sometimes choosing those photos can feel a little overwhelming. So today we have a couple of ideas for picking your pictures. It helps to start with some organizing, whether you have printed photos that you can spread out physically or you have them on your computer or phone. If you have several photos from an event or a theme, you can group them and then from there identify your favorite ones and also which ones you might be able to leave out. Now, your favorite photos might be the best quality photos, the ones that are best in focus, or they may be the ones that aren't technically perfect, but are also representing the theme or the mood of your page. And sometimes it's just whatever action photos you happen to get from the sidelines. Then from here, consider whether you want to create a single page or a double page spread. So what do we mean with these terms? Well, a single page spread is just a single page in your album. Now, you may decide to scrapbook your photos this way, or you might want to create a double page spread with your photos. And a double page spread, when your album opens, the two facing pages will coordinate by color, style, theme, and also the photos that are included. And you'll also want to consider what format your page will be, whether that's 12 by 12 like these ones here, or 6 by 8, for example. Loosely decide how many photos are going to go on each page and what size they'll be and how much room you'll need for journaling or any memorabilia. Then for any spare photos that you want to include, consider pocket pages or envelope pages. These can hold lots of photos inside, or you could print your photos as a film strip style, or you can also create a photo collage. This is a good way to get lots of photos as one photo. It might be a little bit easier to fit onto a page. And you can also add traditional photo sleeves to your album too. And that's really useful for travel themes when you may have way more photos than you can fit on a page or double page spread. With your older photos, creating a digital copy gives you some more freedom in resizing and printing. For both older and newer photos, I generally print as I go, and I try to have an idea for my page format before I print. And that way I can print photos in the sizes and the styles that I want. Now, when it comes to your actual pictures, it's great when they're well lit and in focus, but that doesn't always happen. And sometimes a photo isn't perfect, but it's the only one you have from a specific event or occasion. And if it's important to you, I think it's great to use it on a page anyway. So don't feel like you can only scrapbook those perfect and beautiful photos. You can scrapbook the ones that aren't as technically perfect too. There are a couple of design guidelines that can be really helpful to keep in mind when you print your photos and when you start scrapbooking them. So for example, mixing landscape and portrait photos adds visual interest to a page, and it also helps them to fit into a layout more easily. You can balance large and small photos. This is another option. And you can also use smaller photos as accents. This is a great way to highlight a favorite picture. With those smaller photos, though, you can create a nice layout with lots of different small photos, but balancing large and small is a foolproof way to create a nice layout. There are also single photo layouts, and this format can really work, especially with heritage photos, as we saw on the previous page, and those you may not have as much to work with to start with. You may also find that you have one picture from an event, or you can also have a photo that you just happen to really love. In this case, printing it as a large photo can give it the presence on a page. It's great when the photos from an event color coordinate, but sometimes they just don't. And in this case, you can turn them into black and white or sepia or play with filters like I did with this photo. When it comes to choosing your photos for your scrapbook pages, there's one tip I always like to keep in mind for myself. You don't have to use every photo from an event or occasion, and you can use any photo. So, not every page or every photo has to represent a specific theme or event. As I mentioned, they don't even have to be technically perfect photos either. You can make scrapbook pages that are non themed, filled with photos, both perfect and imperfect, that you just happen to like. Thanks so much for joining me today. I will catch you later for even more Scrapbooking 101.